Hi, everyone. So, a couple teacher friends have asked me, how can I take my old quizzes questions that I put in a question bank and move them into new quizzes in Canvas, especially now that Canvas is going to be moving everything over to this new quizzes thing, and you've spent a lot of time and effort on your old stuff and you want to get it over. So, it's something I figured out how to do last year when I went back to the classroom because I had started out using old quizzes like everyone else and made question banks thinking this will be a time saver. And then a couple months into the school year, Canvas releases this new quizzes thing. So I decided that I might as well just start using that, and I abandoned the old one. Then the next year came along and I realized I had all these question banks I couldn't use. So I had to figure out a way to pull them over. And it can be done. It's a little tricky and not very intuitive at all. But once you know how to do it, it's actually pretty simple. So there's really four steps to it. So the first is to create a classic quiz, sort of a fake quiz where you'll use your old question bank questions. Now, I don't know if that has to be done in the old class or not. I haven't used the old quizzes enough. So if you create it in your old class, new class, I don't know that it matters, but wherever you can access those, you're going to create it. Give that classic quiz a title that is something that you will know is just the fake way you pulled it over. So, for example, X Unit 1 question bank. I like to use X because when things sort alphabetically, X goes to the bottom because it's not something that you're going to use after you've pulled it over. The next step is going to be to add the questions from the old bank to this quiz in new quizzes. And you can do it one at a time or you can dump them all in. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And then you're going to migrate and move it into new quizzes. So you're going to start out by going to quizzes in Canvas. And you want to actually click the plus button. And you're going to select classic quizzes. That will then let you create a quiz using your old question banks because you have to take all the old questions from your question bank and create a quiz. So you click that and then you start it, but I've already made one. So I'm going to go with this one here that I created this using the old question banks. And then you click edit, or if you're already in it, you won't have to do that. And you go to questions. Now I've already added my questions, but here's how you would do it. You click on find questions and you will see all of your old question banks here. So you can see that I have some old ones from some previous units that I had started out with. And you can grab those questions and it's going to show you all of the questions that you've created. Now, you can go through one at a time and decide what you want to do, or you can just say, I think I just want to pull them all over and decide what I want to do later. So if you just do select all, add the questions, now it's going to add every question into this fake quiz. Now, you can actually add every single question from every single quiz bank into one fake quiz. I wouldn't do that. I did mine by unit, and it made it easier to create the new question banks because the next step is going to be to actually migrate that quiz. So once you've created it, and they're all in there, as you can see, there's a whole bunch of questions. I spent a lot of time making these old questions. Make sure you click save. And then you can go back to quizzes. You'll see that it's in there. It's got 36 questions. Now, this is where you want to pull it over into new quizzes. So you click your three dots over here, and you're going to see where it says migrate. And you're going to click migrate quiz. What Canvas is now going to do is take all of those old quizzes questions from your old bank and make a new quizzes quiz in there. And it's going to take a few minutes because it's an older one. And now I can click on that. And it's going to load, and you'll see that my directions are there. It's formatted kind of weird, but all the questions that I had from the old quizzes are going to be there. Now, I don't know if they're going to look perfect, if they're going to be exactly the same. Obviously, there's some features that don't line up perfectly, but you'll want to go through and check your questions one at a time. Next step is to move these questions into question banks. This is where it's tedious. You want to just be sitting doing this while you're watching TV because it's a mindless thing, but once you figure it out, it's actually pretty straightforward and simple. So you've got this quiz, you click the edit button, you have to do it question by question, which, let's be honest, it's a huge pain, but worth it in the end. Much easier than copying and pasting. Then you click on where it says item banking. So you have to edit the question, and you click item banking, and then you click add to bank. Now, if you already have banks set up in your new quizzes, they'll all be listed here. I like to name mine S1 and then the unit S2 because for sorting purposes, it helps me to find things if I have a naming convention that goes S1 is semester 1, then unit 1, unit 2, as opposed to calling it ancient civilizations exploration, because this list of banks is going to sort alphabetically. And so sometimes just S1 unit 0, unit 1, it's going to put things in that order. It just makes my life easier. But if you don't have those, you can click create a new item bank, and you just create the name of the item bank. So for this one, we're going to call it old quizzes questions. I wouldn't call it that, but I'm just doing that for demonstration purposes. And what you've now done is you have added that question to that bank. And so now you see this little piggy bank right here on the question, and it's there. And again, you have to do it for every question. So you click the edit, the little pencil. The reason I said that you probably want to do it by unit is because when you're doing this, if you click existing bank, and then I find that one that I created it, and I click add. So if I'm doing all of my unit 1 as I'm going through and doing this mindless activity, once I've set that bank the first time and click on item banking, add to bank, notice it's going to default to whatever I last picked. So if you did all your questions, it's probably going to make you have to, sort through and figure it out. So you just go through each question, and yeah, it takes some time, but they're all there, and you just keep clicking the edit pencil. And once you do that, the edit pencil, item banking, and add, and you just keep doing it one question at a time. The way you can tell if you've done it or not is you'll see the little piggy bank next to the question number. That means it's there, whereas you can see this one is not there. And you just keep doing that for all of the questions, and that's it. It is super tedious. Put something on TV in the background. It's definitely something that it's pretty mindless. You're just going to sit, click, click, back and forth, click, and save. But once you've done that, you then will have everything in the item banks, and you're all set. And you can then save all of your question banks and create your new quizzes. And those question banks can all be saved, and then you are all set. And I hope I didn't just lose the end of my video because my internet's cutting out. It is about to storm. So if that cut out, I apologize. But once you've done that, you've created it. Now you have the question banks that you can use when you build a new quizzes, and those are there. So it takes a little bit of time to do it, but that's all you need to do. You only need to do it once. So once you set that up, pull over all your old stuff, it is going to be there and it's going to stay there. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know. It's just a little workaround that I found last year by accident, but I figured I would share it with you. Tedious, but worth the time. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.